Hello everyone. We will be doing a professional development today on how we can support our young English language learners. When we say young, we're thinking about children who are 6 weeks to 5 years old. We will begin by doing an overview of English language learners. We will talk about their needs, try to identify the stage that they are in second language acquisition, discuss some of the classroom challenges, and some research-based instructional strategies that will help. Throughout the presentation, we will be having clips of interviews of how we could successfully help our young English language learners. All right, let's begin with our English language learner students. English language learners are students who speak one or more languages at home. They speak little to no English and have a variation of backgrounds. In the United States, we hold a high percentage of Spanish speaking students. However, only 73% of our teachers have experience teaching English language learners. At this moment, you're probably thinking, hey, I'm a part of that 73%. And some of you may be thinking, you know what, I'm not. However, we all have to be on the same page and consistent of what our students need. So what do our students need? Our students need English language proficiency. That means speaking, reading, writing, and comprehending English language. They also need academic English proficiency, meaning that they can speak, read, write, comprehend English language based on the content or subject area. They also need content mastery, meaning they need to comprehend or understand the subject areas using that English language. Now that we've quickly gone over what students need, let's watch a short clip of Robin Scarcella explaining academic language for English language learners in the classroom.
Specific. It would be good, if you're only trying to teach students the meaning of words, and this is the case for native speakers, then you could just say stimulate means and you give a meaning and a definition. But for English language learners, it's different because we want students not just to understand their text, this is where I was going with the question, but to be able to use the words in production. And we have been ignoring word use for a long time, and teachers really need to support the way students actually use words. So when students are going to be talking about the text, they need to know how to use the words. A really good activity for doing that, for teaching students how to use new words, is to give students a word bank and then to talk about the words and how they're used in the text, and then to talk about how the teacher uses the words, then to give the students the words, the definitions, and a model.
Now, before we begin modeling, showing instruction, and really developing our children's English vocabulary, we have to figure out what stage they're in second language acquisition. Now, GAS defines second language acquisition as the process of learning another language after the native language has been learned. There are 5 stages: silence, early production, speech emergence, intermediate fluency, and advanced fluency. Now let's listen to Nitsa, the interviewee, about the ELL challenges that she's faced as a child.
I think one of the challenges is that, you know, there are sounds in languages that are not part of another language.
Okay.
And so, for example, in Spanish, we have this very hard R,
Okay.
like the word, the name rose is pronounced rosa.
Okay.
And so, or if I want to say like, a race would be carrera. And so I know that that's a very troublesome sound for English speakers to pronounce. So if I were to ask you to pronounce that, you would probably not be able to pronounce it, because that's one of those sounds that as a little child, you're not exposed to, so you don't hear it, you don't say it. So the same way that you can't say it, there's some sounds in Spanish or in English that are hard for dual language learners to pick up.
Okay.
Because they don't exist. And the same happens, for example, in Mandarin. There are certain sounds like, again, R's are very troublesome. So So people who are Chinese tend to replace them with an L.
Okay.
And so these are just things that are challenging. I would say there's sounds that are challenging. Sometimes there's structures of sentences that are challenging. And when you even get older, then there's idioms and expressions that they're different in the different languages. Last but not least, I'd say that the way we use language is probably different across cultures as well.
Yes.
So while certain things may be appropriate in certain cultures and in others, language and culture go really together.
Hand in hand.
And so that's another challenge. So in the classroom, I think, for talking about back to little kids
Yes.
now, young children, I think a lot of the strategies that we are thinking are effective with DLLs are, number one, really supporting their home language.
Okay.
So trying to bring that in and integrating it in the classroom throughout the day, even when teachers don't speak the language. And of course, the big question is like, wow, how am I going to do that if I don't speak that? Well, there's a lot of ways that a teacher can make a little bit of an effort
Yes,
and
that's
find
true.
out how do you pronounce these different things? Sending something to the homes beforehand and getting the parents to help out. Sending a recorder to the home and having the mother or the dad or the older brother or somebody say the words, pronounce the words so that the teacher can learn them that way. So
Okay.
there's a lot of different things. Reading the book in the home language first before you read it in English.
I love that
having
idea.
someone from the community come and read the book to the children who are Spanish speakers or Arabic speakers, so that by the time then the child hears the book in English, they already know the story. And so once you comprehend the story in your own language, it's a lot easier to
Easier.
attach the English labels onto things.
Now let's take 5 minutes in groups of 5 to discuss how this information affects us. This is your exit slip out the door.